My name is Marcia, and I am fatphobic. When I first tried searching to find the actual definition for what being fatphobic is, it actually pulls up a bunch of other things. So when you type in what is fat phobia, it doesn't pull up something that's just that definition. It actually takes you to a weight bias or weight stigma. So it doesn't actually define fat phobia. Weight bias, sometimes also called fat phobia or weight stigma, describes the negative attitudes and stereotypes surrounding and attached to larger bodies. Further, fat phobia is an abnormal or irrational fear of being fat or being around fat people. I do believe that it is absolutely okay and healthy to have a fear of being or becoming fat, primarily because I've been fat for many years. And in the beginning, I didn't have health concerns. I didn't have prediabetes. I didn't have a fatty liver. I didn't have lymphedema. I didn't have chronic venous insufficiency and several other things that are now happening to me and my body because of my weight. So had I focused on my weight in terms of health to help prevent the things from happening to me that are happening to me now, I wouldn't have to deal with the stuff I'm dealing with now. So I don't think that there is an irrational fear of becoming or being fat. I think it's perfectly rational and healthy to have that type of fear. Now, when you talk about fat phobia, apparently there are different types of fat phobia. There's the intrapersonal fat phobia, and that's how individuals see themselves as being fat or thin. Internalized ideas, mostly this is all concerning yourself. Most common fat phobia experienced across all body sizes. Difficult for people to focus on moments and pleasure as they are preoccupied with their own body size. Internalized fat phobia, yes, these are all things that I have and I deal with on a regular basis, primarily because I know what it's like to live in the body that I currently have. And again, I don't think it's a bad thing to have fat phobia. The next type of fat phobia is interpersonal fat phobia, and that is about the relationships between other people and myself or as a fat person, or how other people or I might view others who are fat. This is one of those things that everybody's going to have their own personal opinion. We can't control what other people think, say, or do. That's on them. So to dwell on what other people think about me and my weight, it's kind of a waste of time. There's nothing I can do about it. I can only control my reaction to other people. The next one is about institutional fat phobia. And here's where I'm probably going to catch a lot of grief because I disagree with a lot of people on this one. So institutional fat phobia, it refers to decreased ability to access resources in society and belonging. It limits access to healthcare and feeling safe in medical spaces as medical issues may be overshadowed by weight stigma. Low representation of large bodies in media, theater, and other publication. Decreased ability to obtain clothing in similar price/style for fat people. Limited access to spaces such as restaurants, airplanes, and educational systems, as spaces are designed for small-bodied people only. While I do experience a lot of these things on the institutional fat phobia list here, I don't expect there to be change there. Because I have control over the size of my body, I'm the one who clearly ate the foods in excess of calories every day to gain the weight. I don't expect the world to have to modify because I ate myself to this size. Yes, there are some people in some medical situations that might have something medically that has caused something for them on the physical side. That's a little bit different, but most people nowadays who are overweight are eating themselves into that size. And I know that's what's going to piss a lot of people off, is me saying that. When I know and look at the things that I eat or do on a regular basis, it's clear that I did this to myself. When I gained the weight, I would lay on this couch, because this is a recliner, and do nothing all day long. I was lucky if I maybe got 2,000 steps a day. Um, and I ate shitty foods, a lot of it. I binged a lot. I would have a binge probably at least once a day. And I did it to myself. So to think that the world or society needs to change because I did this to my own body is it's mind-blowing to me, to think that other public places need to adjust because I did something to myself. We're talking about something that is, for 95% or more people, have the ability and control to do something about their weight. They choose not to. So I don't think the world needs to make adjustments for people like me who put myself in this position. So is oppression of fat people a real thing? I don't believe it is. I think everybody has the ability to go out and do anything they want to do. If you don't want to change your size, if you're comfortable with the size of your body, by all means, you do that. That's up to you. However, to say that you are oppressed for something that you have control over, in my opinion, is just not possible. Do I think that people need to get past being fat phobic? No. As I mentioned before, I think that having or being fat phobic at some level is healthy. It's something that helps us to stay focused on things surrounding our own health and well-being. And if we know and understand that over time, having a body that is large will impact your overall health. Sure, a lot of people can say right now, especially if they're younger and overweight, that they don't have any health problems. And they might not. However, if they don't do something to reverse the size of their body that they have eaten themselves to that size, they will eventually develop issues. I have a whole series that I'm working on right now surrounding lymphedema, my chronic vascular insufficiency, my lip edema, and everything else that I've been doing to address some of the other medical diagnoses that I have received over the last couple of years, and some of them more recently that have been getting worse because of me not doing something about my size. There is a site. I don't know if this is also on another site, but peaceandnutrition.com, they have a Am I Fatphobic quiz. So I thought we would take this quiz together and look at some of the results. Okay, so the Am I Fatphobic quiz, it's 19 questions, and I think there's actually a lot more nuance to these questions than what these answers allow. Question number 1. Someone in a large body crosses the street in front of your car. You visibly see fat and cellulite on their body. They are in a bikini top and cutoffs. My immediate thoughts are, well, for me, my immediate thought is, I'm in a rush, get out of the front of my car. I could care less about any of the other stuff. So that's not really one of the other answers to the question here. I, for this one, chose I'm late for work or what should I cook for dinner, because it didn't say get the hell out of the front of my car because I gotta go. um, yeah, the other ones just don't apply. Like, those are things I would not even think about somebody. Question number 2. I would be happier in a smaller body. For this one, I absolutely check true. I would be. I've never been happy with the size of my body. Do I think I'm ugly? No. Do I expect everybody else to be attracted to me? No, because that would be ridiculous. Um, I am more comfortable in a smaller body. I didn't have all the health issues that I'm now developing when I was in a smaller body. And yeah, I would be happier in a smaller body. Absolutely. Question number 3. Your cousin Emma has lost a noticeable amount of weight. Emma has always lived in a larger body. Your first thought is, I don't have a cousin Emma. Well, that's my first thought. um, and again, it's got answers here that don't apply to my thought process. So the closest one to what I would respond to this one is, I would body check myself. Emma's weight loss has me feeling a little self-conscious. Well, yeah, because that's true. The other one that might apply is, I'm concerned I should ask Emma how she's doing. And it's not that I would be concerned about her losing weight, because if that's her choice, that's entirely up to her. My concern would be, did you intentionally lose weight, or is something going on medically that you are sick and now you're losing weight um, without, proper method of doing so? So that would be where my concern would come from. But again, I don't have a cousin Emma, so. Question number 4. The daughter tells you that your son, daughter, or niece is overweight. Your immediate response is to find out where the hell I got a son or daughter from, because I don't have any kids. I do have a niece. She's not overweight, but I don't know why a doctor would be telling me that my niece is overweight. So again, some of these questions don't really make sense to me. Um, what was my immediate response when I was told that I am overweight and I should do something about my weight? Well, I got rid of the sweets in my house. I physically went through my house and cleared it out of the things that I knew were causing me to gain weight. But beyond that, one of the things that's not on the list of responses here is to have a conversation with my kid about how they're feeling. Is there something that I can do differently for them? That's not even one of the responses on the question here. Question number 5. At what point do you feel weight compromises health for a 5'2" woman? And that's ironic because I'm 5'2". um, and knowing that what is considered a healthy weight from me is about 130 pounds, I would say probably anything over 180 would definitely be something that could start to compromise somebody's health. I don't know how that fits on the BMI chart. I think the BMI chart definitely has its place and makes sense for most people. Yeah, go ahead. Cue all the mad comments at me on that one. As someone who's 5'2", when I weighed 130 pounds, or when I was 105 pounds when I was in high school, those I didn't have any health issues. As I started to get bigger, I still didn't have any health issues. Had I listened to my mom when she first started hounding me about my weight, I probably wouldn't have all the health issues that I have now. So while I hated having my mom hound me about my weight, even doing it as I'm an adult, it's something that I thank her for, because I know that she was always concerned about my health and the things that I am definitely experiencing now as a fat person. Thanks, Mom. I hated what you were doing when you were doing it, but thank you. Question number 6. Obesity is a crisis. We should do what we can to reduce this health epidemic. 100% true. Yes, I absolutely agree with this question. Obesity is a crisis. It's getting worse in America. So many people nowadays are so focused on fighting for equity for people of, I want to say in larger bodies, but we're fat, okay? Yes, I'm in a larger body, but I'm fat and I made myself this way. And I think if people spent more time focusing on the food industry and how our government is subsidizing the food industry that is making us fat, we would finally get somewhere. Instead, people nowadays are fighting for health at every size and this anti-fat and anti-diet culture thing, claiming that diet culture is given too much money out of our pockets. But hello, how much money did I spend on groceries every year, or fast food, or whatever restaurant I wanted to eat at multiple times a day because I didn't want to eat healthy foods? All the processed foods that are government subsidized, that's where people should be focusing their energy, not on anti-diet culture. That's ridiculous. We wouldn't even have a diet culture to begin with if people weren't being fed all the crap by the government and the government subsidies in our food industry. The food industry is the problem, not diet culture. Question number 7. People in small bodies work out more than people in larger bodies. I disagree with this one. You know, I know people of all sizes who work out. I know people who are very thin who never worked out a day in their life. I know people who are overweight who have worked out every single day. But you can't out exercise a bad diet. If you are eating 5,000 calories and only burning 3,000 calories, you're gonna get fatter. Period. Question number 8. People who are considered obese or morbidly obese should be told to lose weight at their health visit to prevent chronic disease. Yes. I do believe that doctors should have conversations with their patients that based on your size, these will be the things that you will face down the road if you don't work to reduce the size of your body now. I didn't go to a doctor for many, many, many years. So I didn't have blood work done. I didn't know anything about prediabetes. I didn't know that they could test for fatty liver disease. I didn't know that they could test for all sorts of things just by taking blood because I didn't go to a doctor. I also didn't know that the size and shape of my body and the fact that I have an apron belly, a belly that hangs over onto my lap, would literally cut off the circulation in my legs and cause chronic venous insufficiency. That also affects your lymphatic system, so that I now have lymphedema. These are things that are, well, the lymphedema is irreversible. I can treat it, but it's probably never going to go away. The chronic venous insufficiency is something that I can work on. We don't know yet if just losing the weight will reverse it, but if they tried to do surgery now on the veins to redirect my flow of blood, just the sheer weight of my body and the weight of my belly sitting on my lap will probably impact that and make that whole surgical process not work. So why wouldn't I want to improve my circulatory system by losing weight? So yes, I do think a doctor should have conversations with their patients to tell them, hey, look, this is where we are right now. You don't have these problems. However, down the road, if we don't do something to make small improvements here and there, this is what could happen to you. How else is anybody going to hear those things or know that these things are potential problems for them? If your doctor can't tell you, who will? Question number 9. Negative beliefs surrounding weight are just as harmful as negative beliefs surrounding race, gender, and disabilities. False. Weight is something that I could change. It is something within my control. Negative beliefs surrounding race, gender, and disabilities, those are things that like you can't change those things. It, equity and equality surrounding race, gender, disabilities, all those other types of unchangeable things, those are things worth fighting for. My weight is within my control, and I'm allowed to have negative beliefs around it, and everybody else can have their own thoughts and opinions on it too. It's not something that, in my opinion, deserves equity or equality. It just doesn't. Question number 10. When it comes to my own body, check all that apply. All of these at one point or another have applied in my life. When I was younger, it was, wanting to spot reduce areas. Like I didn't like my pooch and my belly. When I was younger, I was an idiot. As an adult and learning and knowing what I know now, I think the two that apply to me most here are I eat what nourishes me and move my body because of the way it makes me feel. I do not try to change my body weight, shape, or size. That part is not true. I am physically trying to change my body size, primarily because of the things I already spoke about. The way it's already impacting my physical body and health and my circulation and my lymph system and all these other things. Like, yes, I am trying to get a smaller body. And I'm succeeding so far. Yay. The next one, I try to change my body, but it's for myself, not for others. That's 100% true. What I'm doing for my wellness right now is it's for me and my wellness. Question number 11. I see a couple in larger bodies. I don't like the way this is worded. I see a couple in larger bodies. I see a fat couple is what it should say. I see a fat couple dining at a restaurant. The plates of food cover the table and choices are not healthy. My immediate thought is check all that apply. I mean, for this one, the food here must taste good. I mean, yeah, if somebody's getting all kinds of different foods here, and if they come here on a regular basis, they're probably coming back because they like the food. And that's probably why I'm there. The food must be good. And it's interesting to see dining styles that differ from mine. I check that one just because I always look at what other people are eating because I want to see what the food looks like before I order it for myself. So if I see something coming out that I'm like, ooh, that looks really good, maybe I want to try that. It has nothing to do with the size of the person that's eating the food. We all have to eat. I could care less what somebody else is eating. I'm going to eat the way my body needs to be nourished and fed. Question number 12. If I lost weight, would it make me healthy? Yes. I do agree with that one. And the reason why I agree is because at the point I'm at now, I've lost almost 20% of my body weight, and I've already had significant impact on my health. I'm no longer pre-diabetic. I no longer have fatty liver. My triglycerides are great. My energy level has increased. I'm sleeping through the night. My cardiovascular system is getting much better. Like I can walk for a couple of miles and not get winded. What else, honey? What else is better for me?
You're everything. You don't need wheelchair assistance at the airport anymore.
Oh yeah. Do I think that losing weight makes everyone healthy? No. So I don't think that all medical issues are tied to obesity, but I do believe that obesity leads to a lot of medical issues. Question number 13. If I am fat, I am less attractive. Well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I don't feel that I am less attractive. However, I don't expect other people to be attracted to me regardless of my size. Everybody has their own thoughts, opinions, feelings, things that they're attracted to or not attracted to, and I have zero control over that. If I am concerned about what other people are thinking about the way I look or feel, I am focusing on the wrong thing. I have zero control over them, their thoughts, their feelings. My concern is how do I feel about myself? And for me personally, I don't feel I am less attractive as a fatter person. Question number 14. I am more attracted to smaller bodies than larger bodies. Yeah, it's a personal preference. I don't think that I should have to be attracted to a large body just because I have a large body. In fact, my interest in people doesn't typically come from their body, it comes from their mind and things, I'm attracted to somebody's personality and how smart they are. How do they treat other people? Those are things that I'm attracted to. Sure, there are physical things I am attracted to in other people, but that's not what creates a relationship for me. And again, it's all based on personal preference, right? Question number 15. Fat people are a burden on society. They are sick more often and use more resources. This one, in some instances, I agree. Some instances, I disagree. On this one, I marked it as disagree, primarily because people of any size can be sick and be affected by many things. Um, so I don't feel like fat people are a burden on society unless they are the type of person who feels that they don't need to do anything about their weight. If they are on purpose eating in a way that's going to keep them a size that they are or cause them to get larger, then yes, I do believe that fat people in those instances are a burden. And like I said, small people can have medical issues as well. Question number 16. How do you feel about your body? For this one, I selected I accept my body, but I do not love every part of it. Um, Again, when I was younger, I did fixate and I wanted to change things, specific things about my body. Now, I just want to be healthy. And had I focused on health at a younger age, I wouldn't be dealing with all the issues that I have now. Because I know that all of the issues that I have now came from me overeating, gluttoning myself, eating the foods, doing nothing, just literally laying on this couch doing nothing for days on end. So, yeah, that's how I feel. Question number 17. Fat people have only themselves to blame for being fat. For the most part, I agree with this one. That's the only reason why I didn't check strongly agree, because I do believe that there are some instances where people don't only have themselves to blame. They may have something medically happening that makes it a little bit more difficult for them. Do I think it's impossible for them to lose weight? No, I don't. And for anybody to say that it's impossible to lose weight and it's impossible to maintain it, I know a ton of people who maintain a healthy weight their whole life. So, yeah, it's possible. And we can all be doing something about it. Question number 18. It's okay to be fat as long as you're healthy. Check all that apply. Um, so it's okay to be fat and healthy, and it's okay to be fat and unhealthy. People can be whatever they want to be. If you want to be fat, go for it. Do I think it's a burden on society to want to be fat and not change yourself and then expect the government or healthcare in general to cover everything for you? Yeah, that's a burden on society. But if you are actively doing things to maintain a healthy lifestyle, regardless of the size of your body, you do you, boo. I don't care. I don't pretend to know the answers to everything. And at the same time, I think that everybody can play a role in their own health and well being. And they should be playing that role. Question number 19. It's okay to have different standards for fat people in these situations. Check all that apply. Yeah, I pretty much think all of these are okay to have different standards for. This is the where we're talking about institutional fat phobia here. And this is where a lot of people are going to get mad at me. I don't think society needs to change to fit my body. Healthcare. Uh, we already talked about this one in an earlier question. Fat people should be told weight loss would benefit them, even if it's not the problem they came in for. Yeah, because if a doctor, somebody who's trained in medicine, can say these are the things you might encounter if you don't do something about your weight. I absolutely think that that's a conversation a doctor should be having. I don't think doctors should be, quieted and told, nope, you can't have that conversation unless somebody asks you about it. That to me is complete bullshit. The doctor needs to tell you about your risks involving your health, period. Airplane seats. I deal with this one all the time. In fact, I've got a video. I don't know if it's published yet or if it will be by the time I publish this one. I show on an airplane seat. I always book the window seat because of my weight. I don't want to be spilling out into the aisle because I'm too big for the seat that I'm sitting in. That said, I will wedge myself in by that window. The person that I'm traveling with always has to sit, if there's 3 seats in that row, always has to sit in the middle seat. How fair is that to Ellen or whoever else I'm traveling with, that they have to be in that middle seat and be burdened by my size and the unknown size of the person on the other side of them? My weight, because of airplane seats, there are specific seats on a plane that I know I can't fit in. So I have to make sure that the width of the seat, like we actually look on the plane to see what the measurement of the seats are before we book a seat. But I also have to make sure that the armrest in that seat comes up, because that armrest doesn't fit over my hips. So I have to have that up. So again, do I think that all airplanes should adjust the size of their seats or put longer seat belts on every single seat? No. That would be an astronomical cost. And why should everybody else who is in a smaller body have to pay for me and my size? That's ridiculous. I make accommodations for myself, and I make whoever I'm traveling with suffer in discomfort because of me. And that's something that I've always hated. Is my biggest stressor when it comes to traveling is being that kind of burden on my partner. And I own my own seatbelt extension, which I bring with me. If I forget my extension, then I ask the steward when I get on the plane, do you have an extension I can borrow? Also, when it comes to flying, I've had to decline a free first class upgrade because of the seats. In first class, there's arms that don't move. My hips are too wide, so I wouldn't fit in a first class seat. That's pretty bad when my body is that big because I ate that much food that I don't fit in that seat and that I have to decline a free upgrade. So I am so glad that I've been getting smaller. Hopefully, next time we travel, if they offer me a free upgrade, well, hopefully they will offer me a free upgrade because I'll take it now. Clothing. I think all clothing should come in every size. I don't think that any clothing should, regardless of what it is, if you like wearing tank tops or bikinis and you're a size 6, a plus size 6X, then wear your bikini, wear your tank tops, wear your booty shorts, whatever you want to wear. If you're comfortable wearing them, go for it. And they should be made in your size. Do I think that someone in a 6X should pay the same amount as someone who's only wearing a medium? No. No, and it's not fair of me to expect to pay the same price for someone who's wearing a medium. You're literally using 3, 4, 5 times the amount of fabric. There's so much more involved to make clothing for a plus size person so that it's going to stand up to the wear and tear of just the size and shape of the body. So no, I don't think I should have to pay the exact same amount of someone in a smaller size. I would expect them to increase that a couple dollars because of the size. There's more labor involved, there's more fabric involved. I can change my size. I have gotten from a size 26 pants, now I'm down to an 18-20. I was wearing a 3X top. This is just an extra large. So I can change the size of my body to get into the smaller sizes for a cheaper price. And that's exciting. We should all do that. Sporting equipment. I believe that sporting equipment should be made for everybody. Absolutely. Everybody should be able to exercise, do whatever they want to do to move their body, to improve their health. Clothing, again, I mentioned that already, but anything related to sporting and sporting goods should be made available to people of all sizes. But I don't think that price should be the same if you need something for a larger body. The couch I'm sitting on right here, we paid a lot of money for this couch because we made sure that we got something with the proper framing for this couch to hold the size of my body and the weight of my body. We paid more money for this couch because I needed to for my size. Because a regular couch, if I went to a discount store to buy a couch, I've already destroyed some of them just because of my weight, because they're not made to the right quality to support my size. And it's more expensive to use metal frames as opposed to wood frames. To use the extra size bolts and gears and gadgets and everything that are needed, it costs more money. So I don't think that a lesser quality item should be the same price as something that is built for somebody my size. It that's just plain economics. If you're going to make something a better quality to support somebody of a larger size, you're going to pay more money for it. Period. That's economics. And I think it is ridiculous to think that any institution should make something the same price regardless of the size it's made for. That just doesn't make sense to me, especially when most people have the ability to do something about it themselves. They are choosing not to. So that's all 19 questions. And you saw how I answered those questions. And it says that I'm working on being completely fat positive. You're almost there, but may have hidden biases. And let me just clarify that. I am not working on being completely fat positive. I think anybody should be able to do what they want, but I don't believe that certain things should be made for or accommodated for people. And then when it says that I may have hidden biases, no, they're not hidden. I am telling you all about them right now, and I am not hiding anything. I'm putting this out there because I don't want to work on those biases. I think they are healthy, fair thoughts and things to have, especially as somebody who is in a fat body, who knows that I have control over the size and shape of my body. And I'm doing it now. And what I find interesting is the next line under the little image here. It says, okay, let's get real. None of us are 100% fat positive. And that's just part of being a human living in American culture. Do I think culture needs to change? No, because that is part of American culture. Our society was developed because of our freedoms to live and feel and think and do the things that we want to and feel we should be doing for ourselves. Let's focus more on ourselves and what we can do for our own health and well-being and worry less about what other people are thinking. And I think that's the way to go about it, right? Most of us have control over the things that we are eating, choosing to eat, whether we're moving our bodies, and let's do more of that because that's going to help. Okay, so that was a lot. This video ended up being a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. But yes, as I mentioned before, I am fat phobic, and I think it's healthy to have a rational fear of what can happen to yourself. It's been a driving factor of what has made me go on this wellness journey that I'm on. And I think it's a very, like, this in the definition, it says that it's an irrational fear of being or becoming fat. And I think it is perfectly rational to have that fear. So, my name is Marcia and I'm fat phobic, and I always will be. If you've watched any of my recent videos, then you already know that I have a blog that I've been writing every day, where I document things that I've experienced that day and show you guys what I've been eating for the day. You can go to IAmMARCIaK.com, and there is my daily blog. If you follow me on TikTok, you will also see my videos that I post every day of what I eat. And then I can also be found on Facebook and Instagram. Don't post every day there, but I do post some of my updates over there as well. So feel free to check me out there if you'd like. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you want to hit the dislike button, by all means, hit that dislike button. But if you do, leave me a comment. Let me know why you don't like the video. I, again, know that there's going to be a lot of people who disagree with me, and that's okay. Because that's the great thing about American culture, is we're allowed to have our own opinions. So, again, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.